sure about anything I've done since then or what. Happy to answer them. Jake?
What was it under contract for the wholesale deal for?
Like 42.5, I think.
Did you pay that?
Yes. Yep.
On the acquisition, you said it was HUD Home. Did you get that through HUDHomes.com, or how did you?
Yeah, HUD Home Store. As I said, I'm an agent, and my broker is a HUD registered broker. So, I'll be completely, going back to this, 1,300 offers. HUD offers, if you're a registered agent, are very easy to make. So I put in tons and tons and tons of those. So a disproportionately high amount of these are HUD offers. Now, if you're not your own HUD registered agent, they're a pain in the ass because you have to find a HUD registered agent, and then you have to find one who's willing to put in stupid low offers for you, which is not so easy.
I do know somebody, so.
Sean, what did you say the advantages of a HUD property were?
Well, if you want a wholesale, it's better than most other kind of bank-owned things because you can double close. There's no deed restrictions. They don't care. With a lot of other things, you're going to have a deed restriction. Usually at least 30 days. It's not that uncommon to see 60, 90. I've even seen 120 days. So you can't double close on them. So they're very hard to wholesale.
Sean, can you explain to people what a double closing is? Because I'm sure people are going.
Yes, that's true. So a double close, that basically means what I was trying to do here is basically I was going to buy the property and then the same day sell it to my end buyer. So it's called a double close. Like basically you only hold title for some nominal amount of time before you sell it to somebody else. But by doing that, when you try to wholesale a property, the typical model is you try to get something under contract and assign it to somebody else. You can't do that even with the HUD homes. You can't do that. So a way around that is you purchase the property and then immediately resell it. So that's a double close.
You need transactional funding in the middle there?
Yes.
What are the factors you consider when you decide to hold versus sell as a portfolio?
Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't even mention this. Yeah, so I bought a couple of rental properties. It's kind of, if I can't make, I try to shoot for, kind of what I was saying, I shoot for 35. I actually wasn't really joking. I shoot for a minimum of 30, hopefully at least 35. My goal is 20% of ARV for a flip with that minimum of 30 to 35,000 if it's less than that. So if I'm going to be making appreciably less than that on a flip, but it'll cash flow, then I'll look at it as a rental. So, for example, one of the rentals I bought was in Lowell, where I actually have two of my other rentals. It's pretty much the same unit that I had bought a couple of years back, but I bought it for all in, including the rehab, $48,000, and I just got it rented yesterday for, $1,050 a month. So those numbers will work. Yep.
You were mentioning you made over 1,300 offers on 300 unique properties. Mm-hmm. So that means you made over 4 offers on each property?
So there's plenty of properties I only make one offer on. Some of them, I haven't gotten up as high as 20 on any of them, but I've gotten close on a few. I've actually had multiple places accepted on the 15th offer I put in. I've actually had 3 properties. For some reason, the 15th offer that I put in was the one that got accepted.
Those were HUDs, right?
Those were all HUDs, yeah.
What's the time span in between each of your offers?
If it's not a HUD, probably no more frequently than every month, probably more every 2 to 3 months. For HUDs, I put them in as often as every week if I have nothing better to do. Mary?
I just want to make sure that when you're resubmitting an offer, is it the same offer or less each time?
It depends. So again, HUD is kind of a different beast. For anything else, I will go back, especially because, like I said, I'll do it every, not any more recently than every month, and usually more like 2, 3, sometimes 4 months. I will go back and confirm that my ARV is still okay, like, there's no great market shift one way or the other. So then I will generally put in, unless there's a big change in ARV, I'll generally put in roughly the same offer. I might go down a little bit. If the ARV has actually gone up, I might go up a little bit. I want to pay what I think it's worth. Obviously less than what I think it's worth, but like, if I think my offer will be stronger, it's like, oh, I think my ARV went up 10 grand, so I can go up 2 or 3 grand on my offer, I might actually do that. For my HUD offers, another interesting thing I didn't mention here is, I only made 2 offers. They actually accepted my first offer, not my second offer, because my first offer was actually a little higher. So they will do stuff like that. At one point I was all mad, I was going to be all indignant, then I went out and just like... No, they just have like a standard form you put in. I could have put in that they could not hold my offer as a backup, but then they put up this little screen being like, oh, if you do this, we might just automatically reject your offer. It's like, well, whatever. If I thought it was good enough, you can hold it, because I did not have to perform on the offer. I could have just been like, no, never sent the contract or the money. And like I said, I was all mad because like my other offer was like 2 grand less, and then I went out and looked at the place. It's like, well, all right, this is going to take 40 grand less to fix than I thought, so I'll look past that. So what I do now is I go low for the HUD offers, and then I basically incremented $1, so I know that they're set to my most recent one.
There's no...
Yep.
The heart, usually, the new property, they always give you the people, the owner to apply to purchase, not the investor.
Yeah. So for HUD, and this actually goes for the case for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and most other bank stuff. Usually there's some period of time where they're only going to accept offers from owner-occupants, not from anybody who's looking for investors. It's usually like 2 weeks, 15 days, something like that's pretty common. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So I don't even bother looking at, like for the HUDs and stuff like that, I don't even bother looking at them until they say that an investor can buy it, because I'm not going to waste my time evaluating a property that I might never even be able to put a bid on.
So you go anywhere, you have your preference.
Again, I have HUDs and I have everything else. So for everything else, I'm in a much tighter range, not tight per se, but like in the range that I said when I was buying, kind of east of Worcester, south of Manchester, New Hampshire, north of the Cape. So that's still a pretty big range. For HUDs, I've been putting in offers on a place in Pittsfield. People know where Pittsfield is? Right on the New York border. So I do not want to actually get that, but if they will accept my $850 offer, then sure.
What street is it on?
Daniels?
Worth about $850.
Are you doing any auction at all?
I've been doing some auctions. I actually, one of the properties that I am currently working on, I got off of auction.com. And another one that is one of my places that's currently on the market, I got off of an auction. It was a live auction with a online simulcast that was through the FDIC. So basically, they took over some bank and they liquidated their portfolio after that. And I got a property off of that auction.
Are you still making any mistakes today?
Oh yeah, every day. Every day. A mistake is just a good learning opportunity. Like I said, I try not to make the same mistakes as many times. I've definitely gotten better with my ARVs. The 3 places I've sold subsequently have all been right around what I expected them to be.
So you're off ramen noodles now, and you're doing okay?
Well, after I closed that one on Tuesday, yes. So that was a nice learning experience. That was a 6-month escrow. Anybody want to know how you can pay capital gains on a flip? Anybody? You hold it for a year. So that was a learning experience. So interesting point on that one is that it was also a HUD foreclosure. By definition, a HUD foreclosure was an FHA loan. If people who don't know this, this was a townhouse. So if you have a condo or a townhouse, the complex has to be approved for FHA financing. Since it was a foreclosed FHA loan, I kind of took it for granted that it was approved. They actually let their approval lapse between the time I bought it and the time I put it on the market. So when my buyer came in, they wanted to get FHA approval. They put in a long close. They put in a 2-month close, but it was a really good offer, so I was willing to take it. Took 5 months to get the FHA approval. And then this place was actually supposed to close at the end of October. It was actually supposed to close 1 year and 1 day after I bought the place, so that was actually going to be kind of cool. Then it dragged out until this past Tuesday because the buyer was friggin' nuts, and again, I could do an hour-long presentation on that as well. Yep.
In terms of marketing did you do for resale?
For resale, so for this I used a realtor. So I did some stuff like but she did all the standard kind of, send out the postcards, put stuff in the paper, glossy books, open houses, all that stuff. She's a little more, the tech savvy kind of thing, so she does a lot of stuff on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So she did give me some like B-flyers and post-lits and stuff like that, so I posted up my own stuff. I don't think that went anywhere, because, again, I don't know anybody who wants to live in Chicopee. Anybody else?
All right.
If you think of anything, I'll be here the rest of the night. You can talk to me after the meeting.